Oh, right. So we should be good here. Perfect. We're live. I'm gonna copy this. Ooh, 1 second, everybody. Paste that. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so just again, first of all, if you can hear me, let me know loud and clear, and then I'll go ahead and begin. There's a lot to talk about in today's stream, kind of going over what to expect and at least what to look for in terms of possible trade opportunities. And yeah, it's not the greatest time in the market. I know a lot of people right now are in a panic state. So thank you, Camille. I appreciate that. So I'll go ahead and get started. I just wanted to, again, first of all, let's just talk about Bitcoin. I'll go over Bitcoin first, and then we can go ahead and talk about Ethereum, Dogecoin, and everything in general from the altcoin perspective. Then I'll talk about the overall outlook and then what to expect for, the next leg and possible buying opportunities. So we can look at in terms of Bitcoin. Now, I know I haven't really sent a trade in a few weeks. It's been a while for sure, just only because of the fact that we were consolidating. With consolidation opportunities, you don't necessarily want to trade. And the reason for that is you don't know whether or not which direction the trade is going to go. You can take an example of Bitcoin right here at around the 114.8, as well as the peak of 117.4. You can see that if, of course, you were looking for possible shorts, you ended up getting wrecked on this move up here. If you were looking for long breakouts, you had a fake out situation and then you got liquidated down here. And that's why, me personally, I'd rather wait for a clear direction of a trade setup and then enter those trades. But you can see that over in Asia hours, we ended up losing 113.8. Right now, the only thing that we really have going for us in terms of a bullish confirmation is the 111.9 has now officially seen a 3 test confirmation. Of course, this does not mean that you enter a long position here because we have not yet seen a candle close, but there are a few good things to keep in mind. Number one is the fact that we're completely oversold in RSI. Number two is the fact that 111.9 is a major support. And number three, of course, the fact that the exponential moving averages are over leveraged. So if there were to be a bounce situation, this is exactly where we would be looking for a possible V-shaped recovery. This would, of course, catch a lot of people by surprise as well. And the reason for that is a lot of people are calling for $3,400 Ethereum, $2,800 Ethereum, a $90,000 Bitcoin. And there's a few things I wanted to kind of explain. You can see that we saw these dump opportunities happen multiple times. In fact, we saw the exact same setup happen here in terms of Bitcoin, where we had this large consolidation zone. We had a fake out down to 111.9. The exact same chart, and you guys can see we had the 1, 2, 3 bounce, oversold RSI, EMAs were over leveraged, and then that's where Bitcoin pretty much created a new all-time high. So this is where the panic situation and the FOMO and stuff, this is where you pretty much want to be careful of, is because yes, we have the exact same setup again, consolidation, breakdown structure, 111.9, 3 test confirmation, and RSI oversold. That's why I can sit here and say, okay, if we're going to look for a bounce opportunity, it would ideally be here. If, of course, Bitcoin does end up losing the support level in Asia hours, so let's say we lose 111.9, then the next level of support is going to be right around here, around the 110.8. That is going to be the next major support level. You can see multiple retest opportunities. Anything below that, and I think we become in a danger spot for Bitcoin. And I'll explain the reasoning why. If you look here on previous price analysis, you'll notice the fact that this level specifically at 107.3 was tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. We don't want to fall back down into that support level. And the reason for that is, again, with momentum trading, just like on resistance breakouts, the same goes for support breakouts. When you have that much support being tested and you start seeing a cascade event, that's where you start seeing those capitulation and liquidation candles. And that's exactly going to be at around the 107.3. I would prefer us to see a bounce opportunity at the worst case scenario at 110.8. That is, of course, the last, in my opinion, the last major support Bitcoin really has before we can start considering a larger drop situation. But for now, like I said, we do have a possible reversal being made right here in terms of Bitcoin 111.9 for Asia hours. So how would you trade this? I'm sure you guys are thinking, okay, cool, it's levels. How do we trade this? The best thing to do in this sort of situation is to let Bitcoin decide where it wants to go. And what I mean by that is you're basically sitting, you're not looking for long opportunities yet. you're basically sitting on your hands waiting for the exponential moving averages to at least be tested. Once you have that test confirmation, you want to be very cautious and see how that candlestick closes. And what I mean by that is you want to wait for the candles to actually break above the EMAs, retest this level as support, and then you want to see a chop situation like this, and that is going to be your entry. This chop situation and this breakout right here on this V shape, because again, look from this just from a naked eye point, this level was major support. It will be acting as a major resistance, but hey, if we end up breaking above this level, then you have a clear long confirmation going all the way back up into 118.9. I'm going to go ahead and leave this drawing up here just in case, like I said, we do see a bounce opportunity. I can go back to it and be like, guys, remember from that video. So I'm going to go ahead and look for something like this, but this is ideally the best case scenario for Bitcoin as of right now, for us to look for those long confirmations. Until then, don't be that person to be looking at this trade setup and say, okay, I'm going to enter a falling knife long. You do not want to look, and again, the reason why is the same folks here at 113.8 entered a long position and got liquidated down here at 111.9. You're better off just sitting on your hands and letting the market do its thing. Which brings me to my next point is Ethereum. Now, a lot of people are becoming extremely bearish on Ethereum and altcoins in general, like Dogecoin, Solana, and many others. There's a few things that we have to understand. Number one, Ethereum did, of course, have a large consolidation, and we're still in that same range. And I've told you guys this many times, as long as we don't lose 40.28, it's very hard to be bearish on Ethereum. Yes, there are times where we see flush opportunities. Again, we've seen this happen many times here, again over here, again over here, and again now over here. These are all just flush opportunities, but if we look at it from a grand scheme of things, this is still a large consolidation zone. These areas of opportunity, in my opinion, are buying opportunities. And a lot of people are saying, oh, well, crypto's falling, equities are doing this, and why are we dropping? There's no news, there's no this, there's no that. The market doesn't need a reason to see a flush, right? We can see over leveraged long positions across the board, consolidation breaks, and then of course major support level breaks. That leads to a major drop across the board for altcoins. And yes, it sucks. I know it sucks, but at the end of the day, these little long position, or sorry, these little dip opportunities are actually buying opportunities. Me personally, I'm looking to, and I'll message the chat later, I bought $30,000 worth of Ethereum right around this level here at 41.40. So this was my buying opportunity here because, again, to me, in the grand scheme of things, I know that Ethereum most likely will see a new all-time high within the next few weeks or the months. It doesn't matter to me. I know the fact that if we see such a large drop from around the peak of 4,600 down to 4,089, that is good enough for me to be looking for a buying opportunity for spot position. Now, in terms of leverage positions, I'm not looking for long confirmations unless, of course, same sort of situation, we break above the EMAs. Reason being is if, God forbid, and again, it depends on Asia hours, but God forbid we lose the 40.28 support level, things are about to get really ugly for Ethereum. And what I mean, like genuinely really ugly for Ethereum, because then at that point, the next support level, of course, is around 39.51. But you guys remember the main support levels would be down here at 3,800 to 3,700. No, I don't think Ethereum goes down to 2,600. That doesn't make any sense. People just throw numbers every time there's a red candle. And a lot of people have been messaging me, oh, my guru on YouTube and this guy I follow, and he follows the moon patterns. And he said that Bitcoin and Ethereum, no, like it just doesn't make sense for a Ethereum to drop that far. Unless, of course, there's a black swan event, which I don't, again, no one can really predict that. But in terms of some buying opportunities for spot positions, I am a buyer here. I would be a buyer down at 3,900 as well as 3,800. But if best case scenario, if Bitcoin and Ethereum see that fake out situation, just like I showed you guys on Bitcoin's chart earlier, if we see that fake out situation, then I'm going to be extremely happy that I ended up buying these positions here, because the market doesn't give you that buying opportunity a lot, right? Mostly during uptrends, you can see just from previous price analysis, you don't get that opportunity for very long. You can see that when Ethereum originally had its pump from 2,900, we consolidated within 2 days right here. So you see August 1st to August 2nd, we had that dip. A lot of people panicked and, of course, sold some positions. Market bounced, and then it didn't give you that dip opportunity again. You can see that since that drop from down here at 3,400, we didn't test that level again. And that's why I tell you guys, in these sort of situations, I am a buyer. And the reason why is, again, there's really no reason for this to see this much of a cascade other than panic in the market and people calling for bear market. It does not make any sense. This, again, does not mean that we enter long positions. Simply means for spot positions is a decent area, dollar cost average. In terms of a long position, I would be long much higher in terms of EMA. So somewhere around here, I would start looking for more bullish confirmations. Then, of course, we have Solana, and Solana's had a really bad time in the market in general, right? A lot of people became extremely bullish on Solana here at 248. And 248, if you guys remember from Telegram, was our exit on Solana. We entered a long position from 227 to 248, and I said if we're going to see a correction, it's going to be at 248. We saw the heavy correction, and then market saw a capitulation now, and look, we literally are testing 218 again, but this is where I mentioned is oversold. To me, if we drop from around 229 all the way down to 212, I'm a buyer in those situations. It doesn't make sense for Solana to go from 219 all the way straight down to 185. That's what to me, this is where the difference between traders versus emotional comes from, is you need to understand that even if we see a slow bleed opportunity, it would be something like this. It wouldn't just be this. It doesn't just go straight down. Just like on the way towards the upside, we saw multiple chop opportunities continuation, right? So we saw up, and continuation, and we kept using the EMAs as support. Right now, we're not using the EMAs as support, but we have extremely oversold positions here in terms of RSI, and the EMAs have not yet been tested. What have we seen time after time after time when the market drops this much? We always see a V-shaped corrective move, or we see a short squeeze and then the continuation drop. And that's where I'm putting my head at, is to say, look, to me, if I'm looking at it from this perspective, this is extremely an extreme zone for the EMAs. We're going to see some sort of bounce opportunity, and then we might see another drop, sure, but it's not just going to keep dropping from here. It wouldn't just be like that. And that goes for everything, right? It goes for Bitcoin, it goes for Ethereum, it goes for Solana, it goes for Dogecoin. Bringing me into Dogecoin, and I mentioned this to you guys, look, hey, if we lose 0.245, I mentioned that in yesterday's video, most likely we will end up seeing a new consolidation zone into 0.218. That is the consolidation as of right now. How did I get to this level? And I explained this before too, is look at the last time Doge ended up dropping that far. We saw multiple wick opportunities going down into 0.218. Market bounced. So this is exactly what I'm talking about in terms of over leveraged positions. Look at what the market did right here. We saw a drop down, EMAs bounced, we hit the EMAs, and then of course this was the deciding factor. We rejected the EMAs and then created a new lower low. Until then, you are not looking for a position. You are letting the market do its thing. Once you get the confirmation, then you can enter positions in terms of leverage. Unless, of course, you're looking for spot buys for long term, go ahead. But if you're a leverage trader and you want leverage updates right now, you're letting the EMAs play out. Would I be looking for long positions into the EMA right now? No, right? Because again, the market can see, okay, another flush and then I bounce. This is where we saw the difference between traders and gamblers, guys. This is the difference right here, is you're just waiting for confirmation. I know it sucks. I know it's boring. I know it's like, oh my God, I want to trade. Oh my God, it looks like I bounced it. I understand. But at the same time, you're better off just waiting for clear, concise confirmation versus entering the trade and getting liquidated, and then the market goes up without you, and now you're upset that you missed a dip and they basically liquidated you at the bottom. I've seen it happen. It happened to me many years ago, and it happened for a very long time until I just decided, you know what, if I don't have a confirmation, I'm just not going to enter. And it really does come down to you as a trader. You are in full control of your own trades. No one can sit here and take your mouse and move it for you. If you don't have confirmation, you don't have to trade. Realistically, guys, it is what it is. You don't have to trade if you don't have confirmation. And right now, we don't have confirmation across the board. Me entering some Ethereum buy opportunities, I don't know if this is the bottom, but I'm comfortable entering some spot positions here because I know that this, to me, is already a nice drop opportunity. If, of course, Ethereum drops again down to 3,800, I will simply just buy more again because, again, my play is a long-term for spot. If as a leverage trader, I haven't sent a leverage trade in many days. And the reason for that is I don't see any sort of opportunity here for us to look for long positions or for us to look for anything in terms of continuation. All I'm doing right now is just simply sitting on my hands. In terms, oh no, it's not that I don't care about XRP, right? I'll talk about XRP because again, it doesn't matter what I care and don't care about, right? I can have a strong opinion towards something, but that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna, analyze something for someone else. I'll talk about XRP. I don't like it, but I will talk about it. XRP right now is in a dangerous spot, and we've seen this happen many times before, but same thing like Ethereum, XRP is in a much larger consolidation. When I talk about in general TA, we always look at the bigger picture, right? Because if, again, the bigger picture is looking in terms of longs, like if we're in an uptrend, then it gives you a better area of where you can possibly enter. Right now for XRP, we are in a dangerous position. And the reason why I'm saying that is there's really the last support at 268. We already saw a wick happen this morning. 268 on XRP is the next major support level. Any break below that, things get extremely ugly extremely fast. And if you don't believe me, look at what happened to XRP the last time it lost 268. The last time XRP lost 268, we saw a liquidation wick going down to $1.77 on a 4-hour interval, right? And not just once, guys. It happened twice. You can see again, right here, same exact wick going down to $1.89 from the same highs that we're at right now from 268. This is my problem. And this is why, me personally, I'm very, very cautious about trading XRP, because if we end up seeing a capitulation from here, it's going to take out a weekly support level. And this, again, it's not just XRP. It'll be for Ethereum, it'll be for Dogecoin, it'll be for Solana, it'll be for everything. And right now, everything is holding on by a thread. Ethereum is holding on at 40.28. Bitcoin is holding on at 111.9. Dogecoin is holding on at 0.21. This is why I'm telling you guys, you're better off just waiting for the trades to come to you versus entering some long positions and getting liquidated on the capitulation. Because the next drop, I promise you, is going to be so bad that a lot of people are going to be like, oh my God, we're in the bear market. I'm not going to sit here and be like, okay, guys, on October 29th of 2026, we're going to see a mega moon. No, I'm not that person. I just trade the 4-hour interval. And to me right now, just looking at it from this perspective, I keep telling you, from a leverage perspective, there's no reason for you to be entering the trade yet. This is a buying opportunity for spot positions, yes, but this is not a leverage position opportunity. If you're looking for leverage, you're waiting for the EMAs. If you look across the board right now, everything on Bitcoin, Ethereum, I can look at XRP too, XRP, they have not yet tested their exponential moving averages. So you can see these gaps being formed. Let the market test the EMA. We get the confirmation. Do whatever you want, right? You want to enter long, cool, enter long. You want to do this, do whatever you want. But me personally, I will not lead this chat into a slaughterhouse. I refuse to post a trade if I don't have confirmation. I can sit here and be like, yep, we caught that move. Yep, we shorted that move. And I can make an ego thing. But the reason why we win so much in this channel is because there will be times where 2 weeks you won't see shit. There will literally be no trade. And then all of a sudden there will be like 6 trades posted and all 6 of them in hand. And you guys are like, oh my God, what's going on? We're making so much money. It's because we just avoided the gap. We just avoided the situation where we don't want to trade. That's why when you have confirmation, you make more money. And right now, I'm telling you straight up on this live stream, we do not have confirmations. Please do not enter long positions until we have confirmations. If you are entering long positions, it is completely on you. And again, don't make me, you want to trade, go for it. By all means, do your thing. But me personally, I am not entering long positions until I have proper, clear, concise confirmation. So I hope that makes sense. IL Solana got liquidated. Ever since then, I'm very exactly. How do you train the eyes to know confirmation? And I just talked about this, but I'll say it again one more time. Everyone pay attention. In order for us to see confirmation, I'll give Ethereum as an example. It can be any chart. What I look for. So there's 3 things I look for. Number 1. In terms of confirmation for longs, we want to see us above the exponential moving average. That's number 1, okay? So we want to be above the exponential moving averages. Number 2, we want to retest the EMAs as support. So what does that mean? If we're looking at above the EMAs, it's 43.74. I want to see us retest that level as support 3 times. So that's number 2. Number 3 is we take out the previous wick high, which is the top of the move set. So here would be 44.77. If we take out that level, then I know the next top of the move set would be around 46.24. But the way I trade is I won't enter a trade here. The top of the move set I'm waiting for is here, because to me, this area has already been tested 3 times. Now this would become the fourth test, and that's where the all-time high trade happens. So you can pick and choose of which area you want to go with. That's how I look for confirmations. Yes, does it mean that, oh my God, we missed the trade per se from 46.39 to the top of 47.70? Sure, you can see it from that perspective. Yeah, you did technically miss a decent amount of change, but hey, if it's a guaranteed 98% win, if we break what 47.70, would you rather take that? If you're guaranteed a wick break to long, yeah, 100%. And that's pretty much how I enter the trade. That's what I do. If I don't see a trade, I'm not entering. I don't give a shit. You guys can do whatever you want. I'm just gonna sit here and be like, yeah, there's no trades. I'll just send random pictures of food in my car. That's it, right? Like, I don't see a reason to say, okay, guys, everyone go long here, right? It doesn't make sense. Me sitting here telling you right now that, hey, I'm buying as a spot buyer because just from spot position, Ethereum has dropped from 4,600 all the way down into 4,080 within the next, not even day and a half. Doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. Why are we dropping? There's no official big news. You can go find, people always need a reason for a drop. There doesn't have to be a reason. It's just over leveraged long positions, seeing a massive nuke infestation. And now we're seeing this major capitulation across the board. There's a lot of panic. People are saying, okay, 3,000. Oh my God, 2,000 Ethereum. I'm a buyer. I always win because I don't trade with emotions. I simply sit here, let the market come to me, and I execute. And that's all it is. That's really all it comes down to. And I will tell you guys, please, 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 just sit on your hands right now. Everybody hold hands here, okay? Don't trade. That's it. That's all you gotta do. You want to buy spot, buy spot. I'm buying spot. I'm buying spot here. I'm saying that right now on stream. I am buying spot positions. I'm buying Ethereum spot positions for the next leg to all-time high. I am not leveraging. I will say it again. I am not looking for a leverage position on Ethereum yet. You will be the first ones to know when I enter a long on Ethereum in Telegram. I promise you. And again, that goes for Dogecoin too. A lot of people right now are be like, okay, should I sell my Dogecoin at 0.23 and buy a 0.21? Doesn't make any sense. You're what? Flipping for a 2-cent gain? Come on, man. If you're looking for Doge as a long-term realistic target, I don't see why. And again, I'm just going to say this on stream because I don't want to post this in Telegram because the people are like, I'm not saying that, but I'm just going to talk. No emotions. Just here. Bear with me here. Okay, guys. Doge looks ready for the greatest candle of its life within the next few months. And I'll say what I mean by that, and again, bear with me, is that look at Doge's chart from a naked eye. All-time high for Doge was at 75 cents. There is coins like Ethereum, Bitcoin, XRP have broken all-time high. But Doge is one of those coins that has continued to consolidate, and now it is getting ready for its next leg opportunity. And this is why I tell people, there are opportunities in the chart for Doge, there's opportunities in the chart for Shiba, and when I tell you what we're waiting for in terms of a mega run is Ethereum breaking all-time high, and coins like Doge seeing a massive squeeze. Do I think $1 can happen? Sure, right? Guys, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not that person anymore. I was that person back in 2021 telling people that Doge is never gonna hit a cent, is never gonna hit 10 cents, right? And then it hit 10 cents, and it hit 20 cents, and it hit 30 cents, 40, 50, 60, 75 on SNL. I remember 75 cents on SNL. It did not make sense to me. I'm like, why is Dogecoin trading at 75 cents? For this thing to be trading at a penny before does not make sense. So many people retired off that trade. And it made me understand that the market doesn't give a shit about how you feel about something. If the market is booming with Bitcoin and Ethereum rallying, so will Dogecoin, so will XRP, so will everything. Everything will go up together. And until then, survive. Wait for that opportunity and survive. And I'm telling you guys, Doge right now is setting up for a massive play. This little dip right here on this little 4-hour candle, if you look at it from a daily perspective, is nothing. It's nothing. You don't need to sell your spot positions for 2 cents. You don't need to panic. Oh my God, we're going to see a 5-cent Doge drop. What should I do? Just chill. Just relax. Just hold. Let it play out. And in terms of leverage, we will leverage Doge when the time comes for a confirmation for long. That's how we make most of our money. We're leverage traders. But as a spot position, the goal is to just relax, hold, and wait. The goal is not to flip for 2 or 3 cents. Just let the market do its thing. Okay, I promise you. You're going to be better off just holding and buying on the way down versus trying to flip this market. You're not going to win. And that's from experience. Trust me, I'm that person. So just from that stream, I'm saying it on stream again. I'll post it in Telegram just because I want everyone to be on the same page. I have entered a spot position long 30,000 at 41.30. That's it. That is my buy position. And if Ethereum drops to 3,800, I will buy another 50,000. Okay, I'll just keep adding. Again, I'm just gonna keep adding over time. But we are not leveraging until we are above the EMAs. Everyone understand? Put 1 in the chat if you understand. I want to make sure everyone here is on the same page. We are not leveraging until we have confirmation. If you want to buy spot, you buy spot and you hold it for long term. You do not sell your spot positions on dumps. You are not here to panic. All we are doing is simply waiting for confirmation. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, that's pretty much it. And yeah, again, and for those of you that are new to the channel, my Telegram is free. I don't really charge for anything. So I'm just going to go ahead and link that. If you guys want to join, there you go. And yeah, thanks for coming. I hope you guys understand. This stream was recorded. Again, if you want to learn education, if you want to learn anything, it is all recorded on my live streams. Just go ahead and watch them over and over. You'll start understanding more and more. I do my best in Telegram, but right now is not the time to trade. I refuse to give you guys a trade if I'm not sure. This does not mean that, again, for spot positions, it is decent. It is, to me, it's decent enough to buy. I am a buyer at these levels for spot. I am not a leverage as of right now. Above the EMAs, we will make a lot of money. I promise you. The time will come. But for now, sit on your hands and do your thing. Okay? All right, guys. Thanks so much for coming. I will upload a Doge video later, and I'll explain everything again in Doge video so everyone is on the same page for YouTube side of things. But yeah, thanks for coming. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye.